This video is brought to you by Cluster Fix. Today we're demonstrating an instrument cluster removal procedure on a 2005 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And just to give you an idea how to get it out of there, first thing you want to do is this bottom cover right here. It's just got some release tabs. You can pop those two out and just lower it down. You don't have to disconnect any wiring or anything there. The next thing, you might need a pry tool such as this. You can probably do it with your fingers as well because there's a little opening there. And just pop this fuse cover off. Put that aside. Now I've left some of the screws out to speed up the video on this, but you'll see there's 7mm screws. That's all the factory fasteners. You'll find one right here on the side of the trim panel. And this knee bolster here, there's a trunk switch in there. You can leave that connected if you want. There's two 7mm screws on the bottom holding that in. And once you get those screws out, you pry this off. What's not held in by screws is held in by clips. So you pop that off. Just kind of leave that hanging, or you can disconnect the switch and get it totally out of your way. Then the next thing you want to do is lower your steering wheel down. And like I said, we already have this screw out. There's another screw over on the other side. You open the glove box, and that'll give you access to the other screw. So there's two screws total holding this trim panel on, and then there's a couple screws holding the knee bolster on. So I've already taken that screw out as well. So once that's removed, there's also the ignition switch ring here, and that you just carefully get a tool in there and pry that off, kind of work it around a little bit so you don't break it and crack it. It comes off just like that. You set that aside, and then from here you just get your tool in there, your fingers, and you just start working this thing out carefully, not to crack or break any trim. It may sound like it's breaking sometimes, but that's just the clips coming loose. You just work it around. So I got it all loose there. It's a little bit easier if you move the gear selector back to give you a little bit more room to get this off. But once you keep your steering wheel all the way down, and you just kind of roll this thing out like this. Get that out of your way and just carefully move it aside. You got your hazard switch here. You unplug that hazard switch, and then, like I said, you get give you a little bit more room. Put the key back in ignition. Move your gear selector back. That way you can get this trim panel completely out of the way. And you put it back in gear. Turn the key off. And there's 4 7mm screws holding the instrument cluster in. So you take those out. Put those aside. Being careful not to drop any down the side of the dash. Once you got those out, all that's left is this connector, and it's held in. There's a little locking tab on top. It's blue, and you just push that connector, that little locking tab, and you'll feel it or hear it snap, and then you just wiggle it out of there and then slide your instrument cluster out. This one's got a faulty tachometer. You can see it's pointed down like that. We service these a lot. If you got bad gauges, if you got burnt backlighting, or some other issues, you can give us a call at 509-366-9009, and you can also log on to our website at www.clusterfix.net, and on there you'll find our pricing information and shipping information to send it in for repairs. Thank you.